Welcome aboard. I'm going to fly to from Coatesville to Cape May today, and just going to go through some of the features of the Garmin G500 TXi. I've had my panel upgrade, removed the Garmin G500 and the JPI EDM 930, and now I have all my engine instrumentation in the Garmin EIS, which is the engine information system. It's integrated with the G500 now. I've been experimenting a little bit with the PFD on the left side or the right side. Right now I have it set up on the left side, which is kind of the traditional way to do it. The reasoning is with a PFD on the right side, this knob here controls the PFD when it's in split screen. The rationale is you have your left hand on the yoke, your right hand's tuning radios, GPS, twisting the PFD, setting barometric pressure. So this is your throttles and everything, so this is your loose hand. But I'm going to try it like this, since this is kind of the standardized way with PFD on the left. Clear prop. I got a Cirrus jet. So I'm going to bring up the engine page on my MFD here. See which way this guy's going.
Chester County traffic, Cirrus 442, could go offshore, final runway 29 at full stop, Chester County.
So on the engine page here, I have dials that give me exact numbers for my oil pressure, my oil temperature, and my fuel pressure. They're repeated here in a line graph format here. But they don't have the exact numbers on them. What I found is this strip is really nice for a quick scan. When I do my takeoff roll, you can quickly look down and see everything in the green. Just
traffic,
straight down the line.
Golf. Clear runway 29 at Chester County.
One of the things Garmin's done with this new G500 is the interface is very similar. I'll go to a menu page here, go to a menu page on the GTN, and it's going to be hard to see the iPad, but I'll go to a menu page on the iPad, and the graphical interface is very similar. The icons, map traffic terrain, we have map traffic terrain here, map, well, the traffic and terrain, but it's the exact same icons over on the iPad. So they're kind of creating a commonality, so you learn, one of their products. The other product is pretty intuitive. So, like I could hit traffic here, it brings up the traffic page, hit traffic here, it brings up the traffic page, and hit traffic on the iPad, and we have a traffic page. In case we want to have 3 sources of traffic pages. Likewise, with the map on the MFD, you could do that. Map, map, and map over here. Certainly there's things like, the engine page you're not going to find on any of the other items here. That's, strictly part of the G500. So I'm going to go back to my engine. I like to keep my engine page up here, initially while I'm doing my run up and everything. And the RPM drops. Manifold pressure increase. And then we'll have an oil pressure drop. I had a YouTube comment asking about that. Oil pressure does drop because the system pressure is dropping when the oil is going into the prop. Alright, so I'll go full screen here. And in full screen, of course I'm good. Hello? Hey. Okay. Hey Chris. I'm in the airplane. Can we talk about this later? Okay, love you. Chester County traffic, Mooney 205 Juliet, departing runway 29, Chester County. So on the takeoff roll here, I'll scan down for all the green here. Everything's in the green, very easy to see. It's a very nice layout.
Entering it downwind for runway 25, Central Jersey.
Got some birds flying around here at the Alright, I'll have to turn to miss that bird.
That's the 206 in the hold at 3000 over film scope.
Chester County traffic, Mooney is departing the pattern to the south. Alright, so there's multiple ways to do things here because it's a touch screen. You can touch things, and like for example, this GPSS, I can touch it, I can turn on, well, let me put my heading bug in front of me before I do this. I can turn on heading or switch to GPSS. I can punch in a heading with the touch pad here. I find it easier to simply twist, right? When it comes to the PFD. I'm going to go ahead and engage the autopilot. So I have GPSS on. I'll turn right to the altitude page. I've armed my altitude capture, which I've preset. I go to my vertical speed. I'm going to arm that. 500's good. And autopilot's on. So it's just where the G500 had buttons over here, and you just held in the buttons. It's a simple twist and then hitting a soft key.
Miles to the southwest, inbound.
So I'll do that for the heading again. A twist brings it up. Soft key is now following the heading. Soft key, it's now the GPSS mode. Certainly one nice thing about the G500 TXi is the fact that you have a map in your HSI here. You can scroll in and out with one finger like this, or you can pinch if you want to do the pinch. But with that there, it gives you the ability, for example, to fly with a PFD, a map, and a traffic page all in one little package, so that's pretty nice. I tend to like to fly with my traffic page over here. Show traffic page. And full screen.
Approach. Turboing to 25, Central Jersey.
So you can see there's a flag that pops up, the altitude capture. That's leveling off for me here. And it's engaged the altitude mode on the autopilot. So I'll let the plane speed up. And then we'll go go through the leaning procedure.
To the northeast, so.
Okay, now that I'm set for cruising, I'm going to lean the aircraft. I'll bring up the engine page on the MFD where you have your EGT and CHT graphs here. And all you have to do is to hit this lean button. Now if I go to menu, I can choose a lean mode, rich a peak, lean a peak, first cylinder, rich a peak, or last cylinder, lean a peak. I'm going to keep it rich a peak for this leaning. And that you know, you set up typically and you kind of set and forget. So I hit the lean button, it's in the lean mode, and I'm just going to start leaning the aircraft. Alright, it's hit peak, highlights it in white, and then in parentheses is how Richard lean, it's my delta, my EGTs here.
Robert Hotel 04 for exchange approved.
04, thanks for the help.
So in the parentheses, I'm going to enrich it again until I get minus 50 for shooting for like a minus 50 rich a peak. Overshot a little bit, I'll let it stabilize and then I'll make another adjustment. Okay, so it's leaned and I just hit this to go back to monitoring. I can select different EGTs and see their values. Can't do that on the CHTs, it just shows me my my hottest CHT. What I can do, the top three buttons are user selectable. So I can go over to one of these and make it my EGT CHT difference. So now I can see I have a 30-degree EGT difference, a 24-degree CHT difference between my hottest and coolest. Some other features that we have, if I go to menu, I have a fuel computer that gives you some nice data. So I'm in flight, it tells me I have estimated fuel remaining, and that's based on the fuel flow transducer calculation. It's not the senders and the wings. The senders and the wings are showing me my fuel gallons over here on the this fuel gauge here. But the fuel computer tells me my fuel used, the range that I have, the endurance that I have, the fuel I'll have at my destination, the endurance I'll have at my destination, and my efficiency. So I'm flying a M20J here. It's doing 17.9 miles per gallon. Not too bad. There's a lot of pickup trucks that won't do that. So that's telling me I have a little bit of a tailwind, which I do. I have a 9-knot tailwind. Go back to full screen here. A couple subtle changes to the PFD compared to the G500 PFD. The wind directions, one of them. In the G500, you could set a wind direction, or you could set a headwind, tailwind, crosswind depiction of what it is. There were, I believe, there were 3 different choices for wind direction you could set up. On the G500 TXi, it gives you a wind direction depiction, tells you the heading that the wind's coming from, but it also gives you a headwind, tailwind component, crosswind component, all in one small little area. So it actually gives you more information than what you were just able to choose on the G500. There's a few interface things, like if I have a message that pops up on my GTN 750, I'll get a little flag here above this GPS mark here. It'll just say message. It's telling me to look at my message at the in the GTN 750. As far as the way to select things, so you can select heading by hitting on this heading button here. You can select altitude, pre-select by hitting up here on the top of the altitude bar. I can select vertical speed by hitting the vertical speed button. I can set a airspeed bug by hitting the top of that tape. and barometric pressure by hitting on the barometric pressure. All those things you can also do with a twist. So by default it's in the heading position, I twist right, it's in altitude, I twist right, it's in vertical speed, twist right, it goes over to my airspeed bug, twist right again, and I can control my course if I'm using a VOR navigation, and one more right, and I'm controlling my barometric pressure. I find it a lot easier just to twist, and it's the twist of the outer knob. Once you're in, like I'm in barometric pressure, I'll go back over to barometric pressure, I can twist it and actually set it. Find that a lot faster than, you know, pressing barometric and then typing in 3004, enter, or whatever it is. So, now that I've messed with that, I'm going to get a current barometric pressure here.
Altimeter 2999. Remark, density altitude 1,900.
Alright, so just that quick I set my barometric pressure.
May County Airport.
Now conversely, I find it's a lot easier to touch the MFD items. So if I have the MFD, so I can touch here map, traffic, terrain, charts, also twisting. So if I twist, I'll have map, twist, traffic, twist, terrain, twist, charts, twist again, weather page, and the last one's engine. So, I don't know, you know, that was pretty fast too. So if I want to go to engine to maps, I can just twist all the way over and there it is. Pretty quick too. I guess I'm just used to going into the menu because of the GTN 750. Actually, that's pretty fast too. It's probably faster in both cases to twist. Got traffic above me, 2,500. 2 miles out. Oh, there he is. Looks like a turboprop regional. I like flying in the full screen mode, especially with the synthetic vision. A real nice wide depiction of flight. And now that I have this small little map here, it gives me pretty nice situational awareness with that. And I'll fly with my traffic over here. I tend not to use my iPad over there. I kind of keep it over there. I keep it updated in case I had some kind of equipment failure. An iPad is a nice backup. It's on its own battery, so it's going to continue to be able to, I can navigate with it if I have a complete equipment loss of my instruments. Let's see, what else do we want to talk about here? Kind of went through the PFD. The MFD is pretty similar to what we had in the G500. So the scrolling of it is like pinch and zoom. That's nice. You know, you want to get a zoom in at the airport you're heading to. Kind of orient, like the wind was, I believe, 290. I know I'm landing 280. So you can kind of zoom in and see how you're approaching the airport. You see 280. If I'm going to enter a crosswind, downwind base, final leg for that landing. Traffic page works very similar as the GTN 750 traffic page. You can touch on targets and get some ground speed and number track information from the target. Terrain, I'm flying in the East Coast here. There's not a lot of mountains, so this is not going to be a very active page.
Wilmington Tower Information Hotel turn, altimeter 2999.
Okay, I zoom out. You can see a little bit of the mountains out to the west. Pennsylvania showing up there. The charts. Nice IFR charts that you can zoom in and out of, move around. So people that use iPads for their chart reader, this is pretty darn close to it, and it's nice and bright in front of you. Weather. Zoom out, see if there's any weather in the country. Yep, up there in the northeast, down there in Florida. Oh, while I'm zoomed out like that, this is the regional ring. We'll have higher resolution weather as far, and then the rest of it's the continental U.S. And engines. So some of the things. So right now I have my estimated fuel remaining, fuel used. What you can choose is estimated fuel remaining, fuel used, range, endurance. Oh, didn't mean to change it. Range, endurance, fuel at destination, endurance at destination, efficiency, your flight hour, your engine hours, outside temperature, EGT, CHT differences. So it's a lot of the same detail that you can get in the fuel computer that I brought up earlier. So I'll put efficiency on. Go back to the PFD. That's a basic general overview. I'm going to set my VCalc. Show VCalc page. Say time to descend.
Descend in 1 minute, 47 seconds.
Approaching top of descent. I like going to the map page for this because I get my vertical feet per minute up here. So, I'll do this setup. You can see how easy it is. So I'm in level flight. I want to initiate a descent using my autopilot, using the CAD 43E integration to the G500 TXi. So I'm going to do one turn to the right. I'm going to set my altitude and hit this engage soft key. That's it. So now that's set. I'm going to go to my vertical speed. I'm going to engage that, and I'm going to twist down. That's it. In the G500, you used to hold down the out key, change what you're doing, hold down the vertical speed, change to what you want. Really not much difference in this. I will say the resolution of the screen is noticeable. You can see like blurring, anti-aliasing, and it's just a real crisp, nice picture. The rendering speed is very quick. It is a noticeable difference from the G500. So down here at the bottom of the PFD gives you your flight plan. Well, right now I only have one leg left, so it shows the last waypoint that I left, the one that I'm going to, and then if I had another point beyond that, it would show what I was going to after that. It gives me my distance and my ETE to the waypoints right here. Used to have in the G500 in the lower left-hand corner, it would give you your distance to your waypoint, but it wasn't giving you the waypoint, the current waypoint you're headed to, the waypoint after. Minor stuff, but it does have that. One of the other nice things in the G500 TXi has a standard rate turn indicator. Small little marks in the top of the PFD here give you a standard rate turn. And they change based on your airspeed because your standard rate turn with different airspeeds change. So that's new in the G500 TXi. You still also have your standard turn on top of your HSI with a little trend marker that they did have in the G500. That's just some small little nice improvements. Okay, once I got to within 1,000 of my altitude, it starts blinking a little bit, let you know. At 200 feet, I'll get an audible chime. But with the altitude pre-select, it's going to level me off automatically. If I'm hand flying it, it gives you those visual and audible cues. Oh, you know what? There is one other thing I could talk about in the MFD, in the engine page, in the menu. Engine advisories. You can set up advisories. So you can set up high CHT, low oil temp, high oil temp, low and high bus voltages. Your CHT cooling rate you can set. You can get an alert if you're beyond a cooling rate set that and you can set whatever it is. You know, right now I have 180 degrees. You can make that whatever you want. EGT difference. If you have a low endurance, a low estimated fuel remaining. So these are user configurable. You can set up the values and set up the whether you want those alerts on or off. Cape May traffic, Mooney 205 Juliet, 5 miles to the north. We'll be entering a crosswind for 28, Cape May.
Dew point 19er Celsius, altimeter 29er. Remark.
So now I want to use my heading bug. So what I'm going to do, I can tap GPSS and then turn it off. That's one way of doing it. Put it back on a second, and I'll show you the other way. Because the heading is the default location, you have to turn the outer knob out of it and then back onto it. And then I can hit that button. So it's either a twist and a button press, or a button press. And whatever floats your boat. Cape May traffic, Mooney is crosswind 28, Cape May. All right. I'm going to start configuring for my landing and do my first gump check. So gas, undercarriage. Confirm the gear is down, both locations. Mixture full rich, prop full. I had a comment on one of my YouTube videos before about telling me I wasn't going full prop forward as part of my gump on short final, and I don't do it on short final. I set it up now because if I'm going to be making engine changes and something were to go wrong, I want to do it now while I have altitude to make my landing. I don't want surprises on final, so I usually pre-configure this so that I'm focused on my landing. I'm not focused on trying to make engine changes on a short final. Cape May traffic, Mooney is downwind 28, Cape May. That's a chime that I'm lower than my selected altitude. That's correct because I'm trying to land now. So I'm turning base here. Cape May traffic, Mooney is base 28, Cape May. Do another gas undercarriage.
Ocean City traffic, Cirrus will be departing to the north. Ocean City traffic, Columbia is turning final 24 Ocean City. Full stop.
Cape May, Mooney's final 28, Cape May. All right.
Cape May traffic, Archer 8129 to Mike is 9.5 to the north, inbound, full stop, runway 28, Cape May.
My approach speed here is 70. As I get over the numbers, I like to pull it back to about 65. See, the graphics on this runway are just great. All right, pull it all the way back. All right, I'm gonna open up. It is hot today. Yeah, looking at this thing is like an Xbox, man. It's flying video games here. Show flight timers page. Cape May traffic, Mooney is clear 28 Cape May.